The early morning of the 14th of August 2024. You're very welcome back. Just on the video I made on the students not able to get accommodation, I feel very strongly for them, and a good few posters do the same. This situation shouldn't be happening. My job is to put the blame where it fairly lies. But I made the point that we should all be very rich. We have worked hard. We have a wealthy country. Now, there's people saying it's not wealthy. That is utter baloney. We have about at least 60% of the land area is good enough land. At least 40% of it is very good land, and 30% of it is exceptionally good land. It has gypsum. It has some other minerals, not that much, I do admit. It has a vibrant agricultural sector. It has a lot of industrial sector as well. But apart from that, the country itself has timber, not maybe that good for house doing some jobs. It doesn't have exotic timber, but it has ash and it has other stuff like that. It has some timber. And it has the fisheries around the coast. And it has many other things going. A good tourist industry before the government gave it away to migrants. That's essentially the situation. So I don't believe that it's a poor country. It's poor because we're being robbed. The rest of it about being a vassal state and all that, that's true. I have said before, a lot of Irish people have an inferiority complex, and the people they elect have even a more inferiority complex. Now, John Benson makes the point, if we had our gas fields, our oil fields, our coal mines, I don't think we have coal mines worth talking about, to be honest with you. And so, of course, our fish, and of course, our fishing, if we had our fishing, we as a people would be a wealthy nation, all sold by the state because we had a mindset that we're not capable of developing or managing the same, but primarily for profit, our fishing stocks alone would be capable of clearing the debt. This is very true. I mean, we shouldn't have given away that much of our fishing stocks. What happened was the fishermen had less votes than the farmers. That's what happened. We shouldn't have given away. At the very most, half our total catch should be given away. That's true. And they nearly got given away our water. This is the craving of the Irish government to float the goods of Ireland on the New York Stock Exchange and pay the pensions of the American people over there while we can go to hell. That's my point there. But we have worked enough, we have accumulated wealth, but the minute the government sees the wealth, they steal it. And our people vote for governments that allow them to steal it, because the people are not smart enough to realise when they give all these great things they're talking about giving them for nothing, it's their own money they're giving them, but they can't see that. They think this money the government gives them comes out of the sky. Now, a comment there from John Ebus again. The secondary students in our town declared their school a sanctuary. A Nigerian family were to be deported. Proper order, in my view. The students were very vocal in their support for the Nigerian student. They petitioned the local TD and won. Well, they needed to be told to go to hell. Of course there are left woke students. If there weren't left woke students, we wouldn't probably have left woke adults. This is what we have to battle and tell them where to hell to get off. Now, the last observation is by Coughlanstom 4139, and this is on the students sleeping, not being able to get accommodation. Coughlanstom was missing for a while there. I wanted to get a debate going with him, but he didn't surface. He's back again now, so fair enough, I don't mind that. Now, what he says is, throughout your observations regarding the obvious problems, regards lack of accommodation, you have not utilised one word of solution to the problem. Ranting about pylons and solar panels will not put one brick on another. Perhaps you are saving it for the performance for government, for the programme for government, or some cobbled facsimile in touch. Now, I'll just see what's the reply to that. Now, User PZ4 said troll, that means he's trolling. And Coughlin comes back and says, sorry to disappoint you, but just someone that can point out bullshit when I hear it. So we'll just deal with this. So we'll take the first sentence. Throughout your observations regarding the obvious problems regarding lack of accommodation, you have not uttered one word as a solution to the problem. That, if that chap really thinks that, I'm not so sure he's a troll, then he is severely mentally challenged. The answer is to get these migrants to hell out of the country, except for a few men from Ukraine or young men who might be murdered in the meat cleavers in the Ukraine war. But other than that, they're not all from there. There's plenty of other people coming. The place is full of them. The ones I see on O'Connell Street are not Ukrainians at all. You stop them coming in and you horse them back where they come from, Coughlanstom. That's the answer. That means that the hotels of the country, the accommodation of the country that was always available for the students would be freed up again. You put them on a big boat and you ship them off, right? I saw the interview with President Trump and Elon Musk, and he made the point that when he was in office, he went to horse them off back to South America, and the civil servants in the White House in Washington came in and said, you can't do that because the governments of those countries are parking aircraft that we can't land the planes at the airports. And Trump told the civil servants, ring them up and see how much check out what we're giving them. He discovered there was billions being given of aid from the United States, and he rang them up, he got them rang up and said, if you don't let these migrants back, you'll get no more money. And they let them in straight away. They backed down. I'm sure we have aid things. I'm sure there are many objects we can do to horse them back out. Okay, so the thing about it is that even if we don't put them out, we can stop letting in more, because where are we going to house them? And Coughlanstom never answered the question to me, how many do you want? So if we have no migrants, we'll have some place for our own people. That's the whole point. They're sleeping along the canal. Now, he must be rather dim not to spot that. So there's one of the solutions. The other solution is to plan for education and make education a proper resource. It's essential. And maybe Coughlanstom would prefer to see his people ignorant, but I wouldn't. I'd like to see young lads and lassies able to get a place to stay, particularly rural people who don't have houses in Dublin and have available rent. You can't have that when you have your own government giving the rent and their property away to somebody else. So then he goes on again in the second sentence and he says, ranting about pylons and solar panels will not put one brick on another. How does he make the equation that my campaign against renewable energy has an impact on building? We built 4,000 megawatts of wind energy. At the current rate of building it is around 3 million per megawatt. Work that out yourself. That's a lot of money. And to say that wouldn't build bricks or mortar. It's up there on the hills. It is absolutely useless. So solar panels are useless. There's nothing wrong with a solar panel on a roof of a house to shave with it or warm a little water. That's all right. When you feed it into the electricity grid, you force the grid to accommodate it and to cycle in a totally different way. Obviously, Coughlanstom didn't look at my videos, and if he did, he doesn't believe them, and the left wing can't believe it. But the wind and solar is a delusion. It has driven up the price of electricity without saving it didn't save that much oil. Not that much oil. It doesn't work at all. And I've made the point. And all government have to do is stop the windmills on a windy day and see what the effect is. It's easy testing this. It's the same as the heat pumps. It's the same as everything else. They will not test it. It's all based, it must be right because government says so. So it is not the case. We could save a lot of money there, but there's no point in us saving it if we're going to give it to migrants. we have to stop the migration, and then we have to stop the renewable energy and solar panels, and they're not assessed under the SCA directive, and so I am working hard to get them all pulled down, every brick. So not only Coughlanstom am I saying about not putting bricks and mortar on them, I'll pull every one of them down. You need to get that through your head. So that doesn't equate at all. We are building the wrong things. We can't build a children's hospital. Do you think if I was running the country, you wouldn't build a children's hospital? It's probably locked up in somehow legal quandary. It could be horsed through with a referendum or something else. Perhaps you are saving it for a programme for government or some cobbled facsimile as such. No, the purpose of these videos is to get my opinion out there and have it commented on. And if you look at the commentary I get, I mean, there are a lot of comments on that video on the students, and it is a serious issue, no matter what my political views are or anything else. I make it 46 comments, and 45 of them are very, very favourable, like charity begins at home and everything. But Coughlanstom, in a way I do appreciate him coming on. I need someone with a different view anyway. Coughlanstom is a Sinn Féin supporter who thought he had the whole thing solved. Let us into power, we'll do a great job. We'll get it communist, we'll model it on Castro, you'll have no freedom, you'll have nothing, and we know, build windmills, so they're great, sure. Didn't Nicholas Sturgeon build them in Scotland? And we'll build these, and these work when they don't work. And we're going to build thousands more out on the sea, all landed on the Irish taxpayer in an attempt to pay the pensions of the Americans. That is what I am trying to point out. And I have done more damage to the Sinn Féiners because they're liars. They're liars. They said, Chucky, our law, stick with us, killing people, 3,000 people dead. And what have we? The country full of every Tom, Dick and Harry, and the contents of the prisons of the world dumped into here, and the same over in America. So I don't see anything in Coughlanstom's reply. I mean, he says, sorry to disappoint you, just someone who can point out the bullshit when I hear it. Well, you go up now and talk to the students that are around the shops in Dublin, handing out leaflets to people, hoping to get a room. So who is right? Is it Coughlanstom, wherever he is, we don't know, or is it those students? It was on the radio, they're handing out the leaflets, begging for a place to stay. That's some mess for a youngster of 19 years of age or 20 years of age to have to face. And that shows the viciousness, the absolute viciousness of the Irish left. And the Irish left is Fine Gael, the most vicious party. Fianna Fáil, not just as bad, but bad enough, they'll go with the flow. The Greens, absolute vicious, destroying our environment, breaking the law, not complying with the law on the environment, okay? Bringing in all these migrants. Eamon Ryan says he wants 5 million extra on the island of Ireland. He said that in 2016, right? So that's what I'm fighting. I'm in a war, a war of words and effort to destroy these parties. I don't know will I succeed, but you gotta have a target in the world. You have to set your goals. That's my goal. It mightn't work. There is a possibility, as somebody says there, that we'll never break the Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael monopoly. But remember, I can remember when Fianna Fáil had a majority on its own, and Fine Gael had 40% of the vote. Now the two of them don't have 40% of the vote. So the next thing to crop in is Sinn Féin. Well, they have the Greens at the moment, so they have the Greens to destroy the country. So it's all the time the left vote is compressing. And a big effort I'm making is to say you have two bags. You have a bag for the left vote and you have a bag for the right vote. And what I'm doing is trying to get people who are decent people to stop voting for Fine Gael, to stop the decent people, enough of them, a few of them, to stop voting Fianna Fáil. I've already finished Sinn Féin. Sure, the half of them didn't get elected. Very poor turnout, Sinn Féin. And so that we have them on the back foot for the hypocrites that they are, and all this, telling lies. They only killed for fun. They didn't kill people during the Troubles to get the Irish people their rights and ownership of Ireland. They did it for an ulterior motive to bring in the communist, the same as Keir Starmer has in Britain. That's what they wanted. And then we have the Irish Independent Party, who I give them the benefit of the doubt. I thought that they were on my side, but events with Kieran Mullooly make me think I could be wrong. So what am I doing? I'm trying to advise people. Hold on. These people are worse than the other crowd. We don't know. It was a simple thing for the Independent Ireland Party to come along and give me a call and meet me and explain what to do. But they didn't do it. So there's nobody going to get sneaking into power as decent right-wing conservative politicians, when in fact they're the exact opposite. My job is to blow them out of the water that they can't do that. Let the whole lot of them, if Independent Ireland is what I suspect, put the whole lot of them into a big bag over there. Let the Irish people vote for them if they want. But no difference. They're all the one-soused pigs. And then hopefully we'll have something coming on there to give it a go. Now, that might fail. There is no guarantee. After you look at what happened to so many independents in the European elections, the referenda on the family, to take the mother out of the home and redefine marriage to include two men. That referendum was beaten 71%. A lot of people, a lot of punters thought there was change coming. The Irish people were ready to vote out the whole lot. You got like a John Waters, Una McGurk, you got so many people, and my own party, the Irish Freedom Party and the National Party. And so many ran thinking there was going to be a sea change. The only one that made it was Kieran Mullooly, and he made it by masquerading as a conservative, when in fact he was an RTE journalist, the same as all the rest. So that shows you that the impetus of the referenda did not extend to the European election, where people could have cast a vote without any political implications. Luke Ming Flanagan got in, a wet-roaring mad lefty, rip-roaring left-wing activist. So what hope have you? So that's the thing. And I think too, in America, I mean, the Harris, this other, what do you call him? Tim, I think he's Waltz, I think that's the name. Anyway, he's the vice president pick. Now, they're rip-roaring lefties, dope heads, dump heads. Biden is still in the there. Now, you would think that Trump and Vance would rump home. Well, the polls show more or less neck and neck, and maybe Harris a wee bit more. You would think with law and order and people being beaten and murdered and everything in the street that they would say, we have enough of this. And they may do that yet. But I am not saying that the Irish people are ready to kick out the left. A lot of good Fianna Fáilers have said to me we're disgusted at the migration. But would they vote against their party? It's possible that they could. Nobody can judge that. No opinion poll can say it. It'll take the election to do it. And my point about the election is, at least if we have people in there and there's votes going, we might collect. And we might manage to horse out the Greens and people like us get in. And if we were holding the balance of power rather than the Greens, then we might swing Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil a bit more to the right. And even with Independent Ireland, the TDs are fairly all right, I think. I don't know, but there might be a bit of the cute whore syndrome there. So we leave it at that. I think I've answered that. Coughlanstom's argument is for the other crowd. Let them all go for that. But how come that so many ordinary, wise, decent people will still vote for Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael? You wouldn't know. The next election will be very interesting that way. But I personally will not build my hopes. I think that there is a possibility the Irish voter will turn back to the old parties again. But still, if it takes three parties, Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin, to get enough TDs for a government, doesn't that say a lot? Doesn't that say a lot? And as time goes on into the future, they'll all be just the one party. The main thing is to break them down between left and right. So there's no sneaking in trying to say we're better than them. The migrant situation has ruined their credibility. And my job is to show that while the Fine Gael is not in power, or Sinn Féin is not in power, if they were, they'd bring in 10 times more. We'll see you back for something else. I hope that answers the question. Good luck. Bye.